Step 1, train the people only to consume. Step 2, infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3, indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones that they use. Step 4, separate the right from the left. Step 5, separate the white from the black. Step 6, separate the rich from the poor. Use religion and equality to separate them more. Step 7, fabricate a problem, made a lie. Step 8, put it on the news every night. Step 9, when people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design. They can't stop us, 'cause we're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us, but we won't let freedom die. The whole world's brainwashed. Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets. The whole world's brainwashed. It's us against them, it ain't you against me.
We're with you, Tom. We will not back down. This is the ugly truth. Hard to listen to, but impossible to ignore. These are some crazy things that are happening in Hawaii right now.
Mm-hmm.
You've put together an article here. Do we have some pictures from that?
I've got a whole bunch of different things that have been posted.
Right, okay, and so there's probably video, there's probably drone shots. I know I saw one and shared it on the scanner page. The destruction in Maui is unbelievable. And we have a dear friend that just left there, went there on vacation with her family, had a great time, and had just left the island when this happened this recently. So we're glad she's back. However, the death toll now, the last time I looked, was over 55. I heard 55.
Yes.
Just absolutely devastating on the island. So let's take a look at what you've got here.
Okay.
I think you'll have the mouse. That'll be easier for you to control it if you have that mouse.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't do it with my head.
Yeah. Now, we are going to get some touch screens so you can just kind of flip your finger up and...
A touch screen would
yeah,
be
we'll get some touch screens. We'll move up here eventually.
So the island of Maui, Hawaii, August 9th. It's the second largest of the islands of the state of Hawaii. And Maui has been in a moderate to severe drought this season, making the island vulnerable to fire. Tuesday night, August 8th, 4 separate fires sparked on Maui at the same time that hurricane winds were set to bombard the island. Okay. So Bert Instra posted this: Front Street, Lahaina, Hawaii right now. Got a friend that lives there and says the wildfires started yesterday afternoon, which was Monday afternoon, and spread super quickly. So here, let's watch this little video right here. Oh, why is it here?
All right.
I guess it's taking us
Looks like
to
it's going to kick it over to the video there, and we'll play it for you here.
Okay.
Oof, look at that.
So you can see...
Yeah, okay.
The wind is blowing so hard that it's blowing embers all the way down the street, and it's just crazy high winds. It's not a coincidence that the fire started right before high winds took place. You recognize this guy?
It's not a coincidence?
It's not a coincidence that fire started right before the high winds.
Oh, what you got?
Okay, do you recognize this guy?
Oh.
This guy...
go ahead.
It was an...
Is that Harrison?
I don't remember his name, but he's the one who was teaching about the communist agenda, the Communist Manifesto.
Oh, yeah. He was mentioned in one of our last podcasts. All right, I can't remember if that guy's name was Oliver or what it was, but I'll take control of the mouse here and get us some volume up on that browser. What do you have that browser over there? Is that Chrome?
Chrome.
You in Chrome? All
I'm
right.
in Chrome.
Let's get Chrome on. There we go. Think we can hear him better now.
The communists call not only for extensive chaos within the cities, but for putting to the torch every village, every forest, every field, and every barn. The plan is for raging fires from one city to the next. The reason? Well, first, there's the value of sheer destruction. Secondly, It would force us to deploy our defenses and rescue units over the widest possible area. The communists point out that as long as our police and National Guard remain concentrated, they're invincible. But if they can be forced to spread out over the entire city and into the countryside as well, then they can be picked off from ambush one by one. And the third value of massive fire to the communists is psychological. The average American, they say, soft and decadent, when he sees billows of black smoke rising from one horizon to the other, when at night the only light he has to see by is the flickering red from flames leaping into the sky, he'll become paralyzed with fear and panic. He'll run away and hide and do nothing to interfere with the guerrilla bands as they strike at the community's power centers.
Yeah, I remember seeing that before, and the incredible thing there, I think he goes on to talk about the hopelessness that it creates. That's the thing that's so devastating when you're talking about a natural disaster, what we think is a natural disaster. There's this feeling of hopelessness against Mother Nature because you feel like there's no one to call on that's any bigger to help. You know, I mean, yeah, sure, you call on the government after the fact to clean up and get all the money for the natural disaster relief and all that. But it doesn't ever stop it. You can't stop Mother Nature. You can't stop these disasters.
Right.
And psychologically, this creates a hopelessness. When you see the destruction, it makes one lose hope. And that's in the Communist Manifesto. And I don't remember that guy's name. And he wasn't necessarily the bad guy. He was the one reiterating what the manifesto was.
He was teaching on it.
And it was almost like the one speech that I saw with Reagan one time where he said, if you want to destroy America, here's how you do it. And he just read off Marxism.
Right. Right. So already there's somebody saying that it's something more, right? The state and federal government is locking down the area, not allowing anyone in or out, according to survivors. So this is one guy, Paleakulani, who gives his testimony of what's going on here.
Okay.
Hello everybody, just coming on here to give a quick update on some of the ridiculous things that are going on for us here in Lahaina. I'm okay. I have my home in Honokohau Valley. For those of you who don't know, it is my grandmother's house that was completely engulfed and taken by the fire. I got to my grandmother's house about 30 minutes before it was completely engulfed, and it's gone. It's burnt to the ground. But the problem right now is not, I mean, obviously it's all still a problem, but people here are suffering. There's not enough supplies, there's not enough food, there's not enough water, there's not enough gas, not enough propane. There's nothing here. There are people that are trying to bring all of these things in right now, currently as we speak. About 2 minutes ago, somebody just told me that they got turned away, regardless if they were a resident of Lahaina, regardless if they're a resident of Honokohau Valley, which I am from, and even people that live in Kahakuloa, which is closest to a lot of these roadblocks, are having a hard time even getting to their own homes. Now, the question is, and this is something similar that's been happening at Honolulu Bay this recent time, when we had the means to save and protect and prevent a catastrophe from happening. The public did, but our state and our federal government, like the Coast Guard, they denied us access to go and help. Now they're doing the same thing again at these roadblocks, denying people access to bring in supplies, just supplies for people to live. And I get it that they don't want to let all these people in because they're already spread thin, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is a decimated area. I can't even tell you what the things that I've seen, and people want to leave. There are people here that want to leave, but they don't have gas to put in their car to leave. people are trying to bring gas in so that these people can just jump in their car and leave Lahaina. Take away the strain from the shelters, take away the strain from the food and water that they're taking from when they have a place that they can go to. Yet our state is still denying people access, and it's not they're not doing it friendly. I was on the phone just recently with Tiari Lawrence, and the cop on the other side of the phone was talking to her, talking down to her. Like, bro, people are in distress. People need these products. People need these supplies. Yet they're turning people away. I'm afraid. I have so many people here that I'm housing at my own place that I don't have enough food for. I don't have enough water for. Yet I'm afraid that if I leave to go and get the things that I do need, they won't let me back in. Right? My grandma, she needs her medicine. I have to go to Kahului to go get that myself. Nobody's gonna bring that here. Things are very specific to some people, and they need to get out and they need to get back in. Yet the state is failing us again. Okay, so people, I don't even know. I'm lost for words. I don't even know what to do, how to go about this problem. But if anybody has any recommendations, please do put it in the comments and give me a call. If you have any ways to get certain things into Lahaina with whatever avenue with the police officers, if you can get an escort in or whatever, I don't even know. But there are things here that are specific to people, and more people are gonna die. More than has already been, more lives than I can even count. I've seen, and people are gonna die when they don't need to, and it's as if the state wants to make sure that they have control. But it's all of these laws and these loops and this red tape that we gotta jump through just to save lives and to prevent more catastrophe from happening. Yeah, all of that for the state to continue to control when it is the law of necessity. It is necessary for people to be coming in. Yeah, the tourists, show your ID, you kind of go in there, but if people are trying to come in to just pick up family members, to take them out, how are you gonna turn people away? So please be vigilant. Lahaina community, we gotta stick together. I am very overwhelmed with things that are going on, and I'm doing my best to point people in directions that they can help. And I will be continuing to document things that are going on here on this side of the island. It is as if they cut us off from the rest of the world and they're not letting us get out. People don't even have cell phone service to contact their families to let them know they're okay. The only way you can do that is to go to certain places, which is outside of the perimeter that the cops have set. And they can't even do that to let their families know that they're okay, because they can't come back in. People have nothing. People are suffering. People need medication. People need food, gas, water. And yeah, it's all slowly coming here, but it could have been here yesterday. It could have been here earlier this morning. So aloha guys, sorry for the rant, but I need to get the word out there to let people know exactly what's going on, because it's a lot worse than the media has made it out to be. A lot worse. Okay, aloha.
Well, we're the media, and we're going to help you, buddy. And we're going to get this out there. People, pay attention to what's going on in Hawaii. Call your congressman, call your governor, call your senators. I don't care what state you're from. Let them know that you want them to address the situation in Hawaii.
Yeah, he was pretty frustrated, that poor guy. Made me feel for him. So, NBC News, Denise Chow, this is how she describes it. The catastrophic wildfires in Hawaii that have killed at least 53 people in Maui and reduced much of a historic seaside town to ash were fueled by severe drought conditions and fierce hurricane-strength winds, a confluence of extremes amplified by climate change. That experts say quickly turned a bad situation into a worst-case scenario. Okay.
Influenced by climate change.
Well, because it was in a drought, which that's cyclical. We all know that, right? The one thing that they didn't address is how did the fire start in the
All
first
the
place?
thousands of lightning strikes. Weren't there a lot of lightning strikes?
I don't know. There's still
We should check
undeterminate amounts of damage,
all
right?
Check the lightning tracker.
Okay. Kaneko the Great posted this picture of before and after. You can just see Lahaina, what it looked like. Oh, I didn't mean to click that, but
that's his Twitter account there.
right, right. How all of the buildings are pretty much gone.
Hold on a second. How'd the fire get over to this little island over here? See,
That little island, yeah.
how'd they both get scorched?
Well, that one wasn't really. That one wasn't really. There wasn't really any.
Well, how did it get scorched? How did fire get across the water there? How did it start in so many different places?
Well, the boats on the water got scorched, which was fairly interesting. And this
what
is
the heck?
yeah,
Boats on the water.
yeah,
Were
in
on
the
fire.
bay. In
Okay,
other words,
in the bay, yeah, whatever.
it blew onto the boats from a passenger on a plane captured this this scene here, so you can see the whole town. Whole town. Look at all that. Yep. The climate change crowd is going so far as to call it a threat multiplier. The precise cause of the wildfires is not yet known, emergency officials said Wednesday, but they were exacerbated in part by strong easterly trade winds, which
Everybody knows that
everybody
wind
knows.
makes fire.
Right, wind makes
Yeah,
it worse.
yeah,
right?
wind makes fire. No, exasperated. The conditions were exasperated. Sure, you're in a drought, and it's hot and it's dry,
Yeah,
but you need a spark.
right. So
Something needs to spark it.
that's where the question comes in, right? There's another one. The pilot is flying over the scene. I'll let you guys watch that later if you haven't already seen it.
How long is that one?
Oh, yeah, we can watch it. There's not much. But it's just devastating.
Yeah, you can see.
You can see that there's fire still kind of going in the background. And the whole town of
We don't speak Hawaiian.
the whole town is gone. But yet, there are some buildings that survive. Just a few, here and there, spotty spots where the buildings aren't even touched. That's interesting, isn't it?
Bizarre, for sure. Did this have the situation that we saw in the Washington and California fires? Oh yeah, the California fires where everything was burned and then except there's just certain trees were
Paradise?
completely just untouched.
It looks a lot like Paradise.
Like the Paradise Night? Where
It
the
really
fires
does.
are selective. Is that what you're kind of insinuating?
Just the burn pattern looks very, very similar. See, and then there's some here that are just fine. That one there is fine. And there's fine.
So, what was he saying the state has failed us? They're talking about, the fact that they're not letting them in and out, that kind of thing. But what about failing them on some sort of a plan if there's ever a fire on the island? I mean, there needed to be a plan to start with. What's their plan, and where were the emergency responders? Where did this fire start? I have so many questions.
I know. That's just it. Here's another drive-through after the fires had been extinguished somewhat. Looks like an apocalypse, they say.
，maybe hot 掉，我超的，说超hot
That
maybe。
burn pattern.
Wow. Old folks home gone.
Okay, that's completely gone, but then that house right there is still there.
Right.
That tree's
Another interesting thing is that the fire started the day before, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's just a wildfire out in the bush." You know, they were not really worried about it because I guess it was fairly often that it happens. See this area? There's nothing left. But there's trees there. The trees survived. Some of those didn't. And see, there's some that have leaves on them and everything. That's unusual.
That is weird.
So,
Pray for the people in Hawaii.
so this one was interesting. Take a look at this tree. Can you see the pictures?
Oh,
The tree is burning.
I wondered if you were going to bring this up because that was what we saw in California. These trees were burning from the
Inside out. How does a microwave work? It cooks your food from the inside out,
Yeah, in a circle. Mm-hmm.
right? Mm-hmm. Look at these. How is that tree burning from the inside out? Just
Maybe it got
questions.
nuked. Maybe it got nuked by
I
a
just have
microwave.
questions. I just have questions.
A microwave can't do that, can it? Oh, wait, you didn't catch our DEW segment. Okay, yeah, so microwaves can do that.
Okay, so Edmund Wallace says, I wonder how 4 fires started the same night in different places. Does anybody know how these were started? Seems pretty purposeful. That's what he's saying. So there's the one over here on the coast and then 3 inside the island.
So the one we're seeing the pictures of are the one on the left there on the coast?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember Paradise, California?
Yes, we were
Nashville,
talking about
Tennessee?
it. Yeah, Nashville. You talking about the Christmas Day?
Have you heard of direct energy weapons?
Oh, you brought it up.
I said it.
You had to say it. Now we're banned off of the social media again. We're going to tell you some truth here tonight, folks. Direct energy weapons, they have been in existence for decades, and the government has been using them.
Leanna von Gronwund shared this post from Jimmy Levy last night in Maui. Definitely a do.
What? Jimmy Levy? What's he doing there?
I don't know if it's our Jimmy Levy, but that's what it says.
Wow, we know Jimmy Levy.
And then Santa Surfing posted this video. Watch for the flashes in this clip. See that?
Yeah, those could definitely be explosions.
Yeah, they could be.
Tanks, gas tanks, or...
Right? Look at how dark that smoke is. Did you see they were...
there was a flash in the upper right-hand side.
Right. It's not
Wasn't on the
not
ground.
land level. And then there was one clear up at the top there.
Oh my gosh. Round balls of lightning. It was last week's podcast that I told you about ball lightning.
Right?
It's a military function, a weaponized weather weapon. We talked about weaponizing the weather last week, and we witnessed it this week. Did we predict that?
We didn't...
Hold on a second. 2 weird things happened last week. Listen to this, folks. Okay? These Maui fires kicked off after Friday night because we did a podcast on Friday night about weaponizing the weather and lightning balls.
Yes.
And lightning strikes causing directed fires. We did that last Friday.
Yes, we did.
And on Monday, these fires kicked in.
Yes.
That was interesting. Now, I'm sure the government wasn't listening and saying we got to burn up Hawaii since those hails were talking about it.
Of course, we didn't change our numbers yet on our IP address, so...
Right, so they could have seen it. Now we've used those techniques that Chris gave us, and we've locked down our DNS.
Right.
However, another strange thing has happened. It's kind of like the same thing, how we predicted something or someone was listening. If you remember on Friday night, we meaning I, also, when you agreed with me, said that the weather machine here in Wichita Falls makes sure that nothing ever happens here.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So on Friday night, we talk about it. And then less than a week later, Wichita Falls gets hit with a weather phenomenon. Something called a microburst. 100-mile-an-hour winds, tornado-like destruction in a matter of a minute. And it was not a tornado, but it hit Wichita Falls, Texas last night and destroyed businesses and trees and signs, billboards, buildings, and cars.
Yes.
And it wasn't a tornado.
And a tank.
And a tank blew 2 or 3 miles across town.
Yeah.
Like
weird.
a 100-gallon propane tank.
Crazy.
So, some really strange weather phenomenon. So, I'm not sure whether we should stop talking about some of these things and saying they're not going to happen, because that which we did not think could happen happened. And this weather event in Hawaii looks very much like lightning balls. We are going to do a follow-up podcast on this. You know, I asked you to dig into this.
I didn't have to. It was right there in front of me.
I asked you to dig into it to find out what could have caused it. And this whole podcast I've been anticipating. And then I talked about DEWs, and it ties right back to last week. And you just showed me lightning balls.
Yep. This picture here is people abandoned their vehicles, jumping into the ocean to escape the fire in Lahaina, Maui.
Oh my gosh.
So, and it looks apocalyptic. These are just shells.
If we show these images, then Facebook's going to kick us off again. I mean, they got mad at me yesterday about
apocalyptic
silliness. Yes. Oh, that's destruction. Graphic violence.
8-Track Truth says, I don't mean to be insensitive to anyone affected by the fires. This has all the hallmarks of a DEW.
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 It's not a Mountain Dew, it's a DEW.
Yes.
Direct energy weapon. Okay? Look at Nashville, Tennessee pictures, and you will see this kind of destruction.
Yes.
Look at West Texas.
West Texas.
And you will see this kind of destruction.
Yes. It is just massive.
These are not normal photos of a fire, a burnout vehicle. That doesn't happen like this.
And this is the historic town. This is like the old...
Attack the historic. That's one of the communist manifestos, right?
Mm-hmm. This is the old town. This is the original Maui capital.
Really?
Right.
That's a shame.
So it's very historic. And there's lots of people that, you know, they say they've lost 53, but according to that guy and a couple of other people I listened to that I just didn't have time to add in, it's more than that because people can't get their medications. They don't have access directly to water, so they need water brought in. They need food brought in. The one lady was staying at a hotel, and she said she hadn't eaten for 48 hours when she finally decided to take the risk and take the dirt road back.
Wow.
There's a dirt road. There's only 2 roads out of Lahaina. And one of them is the highway, which they had blocked. And the other one is a very treacherous dirt road that goes around the backside of the mountain. And she said they got out finally. And it was dangerous, but they were glad they got out. When they got to the airport, people were like, oh, yeah, I heard there was a fire.
Like media
Like,
coverage is zilch.
Yeah,
These
they
people are
weren't,
stranded,
and
dying.
the rest of the island didn't even know how horrible it was, right? So, Heidi Harris says, here's what I hope happens after this Maui fire disaster. Citizens need to ask questions and demand answers about how this got so out of control. Don't let your blue state bureaucrats shrug and blame climate change like they do in California. That's no answer. So, my prayers go out to those who have lost family and friends, homes and jobs. This devastation is just one more step toward a new world order. Those areas that are cleared can and will force those inhabitants into the cities. Then they'll lock us all down with the 15-minute city rules. We're losing our freedoms bit by bit, and the cabal doesn't care who it hurts or who gets in the way of their goals. Stay vigilant, my friends. Don't let them distract you with excuses. Prayers for them.
Ask questions about everything. Take nothing for granted.
Another guy was saying he was scrolling through YouTube, and he said he was being told that everybody's Citizens Reporters videos were being taken down by YouTube. And the only thing you could find on YouTube was the mainstream media's videos.
Oh,
he said that
censorship?
alone tells me that there's something they're trying to hide.
Oh my gosh.
Even if it's just incompetence of the state. You know, not getting the help to the people in time.
Holy cow. This is just incredible, folks. Welcome to the system.
Yes.
The new system of depopulation. Whatever way they can take us out.
Yep.
They're going to do it.
Yeah.
They did this in Canada. They did this in California. Now they're going to try it in Hawaii. Good luck and God bless to all the people there. Stay tuned for more. That's it for The Ugly Truth. Hard to listen to, but impossible to ignore. And thank you for listening to The Ugly Truth, because
They can't stop us, 'cause we're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us. But we won't let freedom die. The whole world's brainwashed.
Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets.
The whole world's brainwashed.
It's us against them, it ain't you against me.
The Ugly Truth. Hard to listen to, but impossible to ignore.